songs can fly on the airwaves. They just need a chance to start. Purple songs can grow and hope and faith and fly from heart to heart.
Did you know Purple Songs Can Fly? Welcome to our program, produced by the Children in Treatment at the Texas Children's Cancer and Hematology Centers. Our program is about great music made by some terrific young talents. Now, here are the hosts of Purple Songs Can Fly.
Thank you and welcome to the program Purple Songs Can Fly on the Voice America Kids Network. I'm Zack Tavlin.
And I'm Emily Freeman.
And today we'll be talking with, I think, your parents, right, Emily?
Yes. They're here right here in the studio.
Awesome. I'm going to let you just go and interview them. And
Sure.
You can introduce them.
So this is my mother, Becky.
Hi.
And my dad, Doug.
Hello.
All right. So, first of all, I was diagnosed with cancer in 2009. I'm curious to know, how did you hear about that? Who told you? And
Just a little bit about the background of it. Well, as you know, you were going through some things that we didn't know what the cause was, and they were troubling things. One of the major things that was troubling to me was difficulty with vision. And, one day in a ballet class in February of 2009, you started getting dizzy, came out, and said, I don't think I can stay for class anymore.
Yeah.
And so I thought maybe you were just having some issues with working too hard and dehydrated. So I said, okay, fine, let's go home and we'll get you hydrated and you'll be fine.
right.
But you went on to explain that you couldn't see around the edges and, your peripheral vision, and that was troubling. And then later, a couple of months later, we had gone to a play that a friend of yours was in,
Right.
and you couldn't see her. And when we
Yes.
asked at the intermission how you thought she did,
I couldn't tell which one she was.
Right.
Yes.
So that was our first clue that, something is really wrong.
Right.
And also you started wanting to not stay for ballet, and ballet was your passion and your love and what you love to do, and I thought something was really wrong. So
Yeah.
we went to the eye doctor, and when they did that test that tests the field vision, and you click the little button and you weren't clicking the button, he pulled me aside and said, something's wrong here, and I
Yeah.
think you need to see an ophthalmologist because you failed the field vision test. So
Right.
went to see an ophthalmologist, and he thought you wanted glasses,
And was making it up.
right,
Just for that.
which
yeah.
you aren't. So anyway, from there it went on, and long story short, you ended up doing an MRI and saw a neurologist, and the MRI revealed a brain tumor pressing on your optic nerve, which explained the vision
Yes.
issues. And wrapped around the pituitary gland, and from that point things went really quickly. Actually, your pediatrician actually called and said, after the neurologist had told us what the issue was, and he had asked, do you know any brain surgeons? I was like, what a question for a mom.
Right. And
but-
that's what I was really asking, is like, for you and Dad, what was the first thing that popped into your mind? How did you feel at that point?
Right. When the neurologist called me and asked me if I knew any brain surgeons, I was floored. It's like, what a question to ask a mom.
Yes.
But I did happen to know a brain surgeon because, as you know, a friend of yours
Yes.
had a benign brain tumor at the ballet studio, and I immediately called her, and she told us about brain surgeons here at Texas Children, neurosurgeon, and made a recommendation. So I talked to your pediatrician, and it went really quickly from there.
Yes.
There was not a lot of time.
Right.
It's very fast.
Yes.
I don't remember how you found out.
I was at a store and you called me
Okay.
with the results and said basically, pack the bag, we're going down to Texas Children's.
Wow. Well, now, how has this experience changed your personality?
Changed my personality.
I don't know.
You tell me. You're probably a better judge of that.
Well, or maybe I should say your outlook.
Okay, yeah. Goodness, it has changed a lot of things, but one thing specifically, it's kind of taught me to appreciate the small things, to be appreciative of things like being able to sleep in your own bed and sink into your own pillow. Those are things that we took for granted before.
Yes.
But things like that, and then just life itself. What a gift that is.
Yes.
What a blessing that is. And that's one thing that we just took for granted up until your diagnosis.
Right.
I could go on and on, but those are just two things that come to mind.
Right.
That how it changed me to appreciate the small things.
Yes. Well, now I can think of a few experiences, but can you or Dad share, like, sometimes that in the hospital that really stood out, like with an experience with a nurse or something like that?
Oh, there's so many.
Yes.
Do you want to go first? No, he doesn't want to go first. Okay.
Well, you spent more time in the hospital. So.
Yeah, that's true. There were serious times, funny times. I'll start with a funny thing that happened.
Sure.
I remember one time, because your hypothalamus was affected from treatment and the tumor itself, and the hypothalamus, I've learned so many things about that. But it regulates body temperature for one thing, and so your body temperature in the hospital and even now would hover around anywhere between 91 and 96 degrees, which is unusual. And there was the lady with the snow cone cart that would come around, and you had just had a blue snow cone and fell asleep in the hospital bed, and the nurse had come in to take vitals, and she noticed you were asleep, so she didn't want to bother you, so she used the thermometer that you just swipe your head, and of course your body temperature was low, and she looked at you, took a closer look at you, and your lips were blue. And so
Oh, gosh.
Yes.
I wasn't going to say anything. I just wanted to see how it played out and have fun with it.
Wow. That was
That's as mischievous as I get. Seriously. Don't say anything.
The Trojan snow cone.
Yes.
So let's take a break. I'm Zach Tavlin,
I'm Emily Freeman.
and you're listening to Voice America Kids.
We do lots of fun stuff together. We love to take naps in rainy weather. We go to the movies and we laugh a lot. At Incredible Pizza, we hit the jackpot. My mom's the best mom in the whole wide world. I want to tell her how much I love her. My mom's the best mom in the whole wide world. She's my best friend, and I'm her littlest girl. She make pictures all out of green, pretty flowers in landscape scenes. Forest green is her favorite color. She is a very great mother. My mom's the best mom in the whole wide world. I want to tell her the best mom in the whole wide world. She's my best friend, and I'm her little whisk girl. Her little whisk girl. Her little whisk girl.
Welcome back to Purple Songs Can Fly. I'm Zach Tavlin,
I'm Emily Freeman.
along with Mr. and Mrs. Freeman, and you're listening to Voice America Kids. So let's continue with our conversation about blue snow cones, or all things blue. Do you also have a story, Mr. Freeman?
Well, I didn't spend much time in the hospital. I think Becky stayed every day, right? Every day that she was in the hospital?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. But I think there was another story related to blue snow cones. With
They
the,
strike-
Oh, well, I'll
they
let you tell
strike
that
again.
No, go ahead, because again, I
No,
wasn't
I will
there.
let you tell that one because you know it.
I'm going to look
Go
at snow
right ahead.
cones differently from now on.
Yeah, no, I know you will, because with all the different chemo drugs and everything that was going on, it's very toxic to the liver and the kidneys. So one of the nurses suggested using, what is it, methylene blue,
Methylene blue.
which is not used commonly anymore because it's an old-fashioned drug, but basically it's to protect your kidneys
Okay.
from damage from chemo. And it's a very deep blue, almost, how would you describe it?
Just
Just
blue.
intense,
Just like that.
intensely deep.
Liquid blue?
Yeah,
Yes.
liquid
Okay.
blue. It's just like
Yes.
almost like paint. It's so liquid.
Wow.
Right.
And what goes in has to come out. So you have intensely deep blue output, let's say.
And
Wow.
I remember, I had no idea that this would happen.
I told you, I really did. I
Well,
gave
see,
you one.
I go into the restroom
Where is this going?
and I'm like,
Nowhere good.
oh my goodness gracious.
You're the same for the Voice America Kids Network. I'm Zach Tavlin.
I'm Emily Freeman.
And today we're talking with Mr. and Mrs. Freeman.
We would always warn the nurses who came in too, because
Although it
they
was
would.
tempting not to.
Right.
This is like a pattern of just misinformation. It's like, I was really tempted not to tell the nurse you're just eating a snow cone. You know, really
Okay.
tempted not to tell about methylene blue. This is
So Zach, what we're trying to say is
outsider looking in.
when life gives you lemons,
You make blue snow cones. Yes.
There you go.
I could have said better myself.
There you go.
So we had fun in the hospital. We did. It wasn't
Yes,
all
yes.
gloom and doom because
Right.
that's
You have to pick your moments.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So were there any cheery non-blue moments of the hospital? If you said you found the hospital, like what would you say like the most happy like memory there would be?
I would have to say my first nurse in the ICU was actually a leukemia patient herself, a leukemia survivor. And my hair was starting to fall out from the chemo and the cancer itself. And I didn't want it to fall out. I had long golden curls and I didn't want it to fall out. So I put a bandana on my head and I'm like, maybe this will help it stay in longer. But my nurse knew that it was getting matted, and the easiest thing to do, I mean, I was trying to comb it out maybe to see if that would work, but it was literally matted on my head. So she said the easiest thing to do would to go up to the 16th floor and have them cut it all out. And she said, she really just gave me like a pep talk. She said, you know, it's going to grow back in, and it was just really comforting for her to be there and her experience.
Well, that's good. That's something that I'm sure was traumatic. Was turned into a happy memory just by the quality of care
Exactly.
received. I think that shows the importance.
Yes.
Of excellent nurses, doctors.
And that's what's so great about Texas Children's is the nurses and doctors who really care for their kids.
So let's take a break. I'm Zach Tavlin.
I'm Emily Freeman.
And you're listening to Voice America Kids. The song we're going to play on this break is called My Daddy, written by Jaslynn when she was 7 years old.
My daddy is tall like a skyscraper, kind like sugar, strong like a rapper. My daddy is tall like a skyscraper, funny like Popeye, nice as ice cream. My daddy is tall like a skyscraper, kind like sugar, strong like a rapper, funny like Popeye, nice as ice cream. He knows how to make me laugh. He carried me on his shoulders when I was sick. My daddy is tall like a skyscraper, kind like sugar, strong like a rapper. My daddy is tall like a skyscraper, funny like Popeye, nice as ice cream. I love him more than money, more than anything. My daddy would help me with any problem. He would write a song just for me. My daddy is tall like a skyscraper, kind like sugar, strong like a rapper. My daddy is tall like a skyscraper, funny like Popeye, nice as ice cream. Happy Father's Day.
Welcome back to Purple Songs Can Fly. I'm Zach Tavlin,
I'm Emily Freeman.
along with Mr. and Mrs. Freeman, and you're listening to Voice America Kids. So, Emily, why don't you continue your conversation with your parents?
Sure. So, Mom, Dad, what about like an inspirational story that we encountered in the hospital?
Oh my goodness! From my perspectives, there were so many.
Yes.
Because you met a dear friend who passed away
Yes.
while we were going through this, and that was difficult. But I think for me personally, one of the things I go back to consistently is. There was one time in particular when you were inpatient in the hospital, and it was about day 3. Cancer patients, if they become neutropenic, which means their body basically can't fight off things that come against it and do the job, that it was made to do.
Right.
And so they keep you there until you're not neutropenic, and you had to have IV antibiotics. And so we felt kind of imprisoned, I guess is the best word. And I remember there was a housekeeper that would come in every day. He was so friendly and upbeat and did his job and would smile. And one day in particular, he came in and it just came over him to share with me. He was looking out the window across the hospital. Across the street. The women's center was going up, and he motioned outside. He said, "Mom, look outside and see how they're building across there." And they spent months building a foundation underneath, and the building will go up quickly. And he said, I just want to encourage you not to look at this time in the hospital as being imprisoned. And that was exactly what I was thinking at the time. They won't let us go.
Right.
We're stuck here. But look at it as a time of preparation. You're building a foundation for your daughter. And I look back on that time, and really it was precious time because we had time together that normally we wouldn't have had. And so it's kind of like the difficult times and seasons that we went through, I see the blessing in it. And I know you've said even in your song that you wrote with Purple Songs Can Fly, that you wouldn't have met the people you've met or been the places that you've been had it not been for this cancer experience.
Right.
So that was one thing I can look back to and say that was just like a message that, yes, we're here for a reason, even though it may not look good to us at the time, but it really has a purpose in our lives, and I can look back at it and see good in it.
Yes.
That's actually an incredibly deep, rich story and experience that kind of, it would change my perspective on what was going on at the time. I'm sure as it did yours. Were there any other times while in the hospital that you had kind of one of those thought shifts?
Well, as a matter of fact, following that up, one thing that Emily had problems with, it's not her fault at all, but she was what they call a hard stick, which means, when you're drawing labs, they couldn't find her veins easily, and so sometimes they would have to look for them, which was a painful experience, and so they've come up with this device, and you'll have to help me with it. I don't know what it's called, if you recall, but basically it's a vein finder.
It's an ultrasound, basically.
Right.
A portable.
Right.
And so they can find your vein right off the bat. Anyway, at this particular time, this was before they used this with her, and we had gone for an MRI, and they had to, she had to have contrast, right, thank you. And so it was a real painful experience for her because they couldn't find the vein.
The IV.
Right, and she was crying, and that's just one thing as a parent. It's real difficult to see your child go through pain and and be helpless and not be able to do anything about it.
Right.
And Doug would go in with Emily to the MRIs, and I would go out in the waiting room. And I remember, because he's better at that, and so I went out in the waiting room after that, and just really distraught because I knew how much pain she was in, and I couldn't do anything about it. And so I was just sitting in the waiting area, and I looked up, and remember the housekeeper I told you about. I saw him walking right across the hall.
And
it was like such a ray of sunshine to see him, who had given me so much encouragement, and I just went running after him.
Of all the people.
I can only imagine being a parent in the situation and how it would feel, and it's really sounds like that housekeeper really made kind of an impact on you as a person
and of all the people that could have been walking by.
Right. It was just an encouragement to me at the time I needed encouragement.
Right.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
I'm really glad that there are people that are able to see a need, even if it's not their job.
Right.
And really speak to people and help them through something that's probably one of the most difficult experiences anyone can go through.
Yes.
That's incredible.
We've seen him again since then, and I made a point of being introduced to his boss to tell him what an impact he made on me. A lot of times, what I found here in this environment, the people who are doctors, nurses, and housekeepers, their job goes beyond what they do, what their job description is, but it's being that light and that, help to parents who are there going through a difficult time, and those were the things that were most meaningful to me.
And I think this story really shows, the impact just a few words can have.
Absolutely.
It's just a few kind words at the right time can make a change in someone's entire life.
Exactly.
So,
true. Yeah.
So sadly, we have to take a break. I'm Zack Tavlin.
And I'm Emily Freeman.
And you're listening to Voice America Kids. Now, not sadly, our song during this break will be called Being Invincible. It was written by Leslie when she was 16 years old. Enjoy.
Waking up to the sun shining, I know it's gonna be a good day. I walk outside, feel the cool breeze blowing, and forget about yesterday. I'm feeling good, better than usual. I have support of the people around me. I know they care, I know they love me. I'm floating on air, being invincible. I hope this feeling will last a while, and the rough times
won't get me down. But if they do, I know the support will always be around. I'm feeling good, better than usual. I have the support of the people around me. I know they care, I know they love me. I'm floating on air, being invincible. I'm feeling good, better than usual. I have the support of the people around me. I know they care, I know they love me. I'm floating on air, being invincible. I'm floating on air, being invincible. I'm floating on air, being invincible.
Welcome back to Purple Songs Can Fly. I'm Zach Tavlin,
I'm Emily Freeman.
along with Mr. and Mrs. Freeman, and you're listening to Voice America Kids. Now, unbeknownst to the listening audience, we actually have another kind of, I won't say hidden, because I can see him, but we have another guest in the studio today.
A Freeman.
Another Freeman. His name is Jonathan Freeman, and he is Emily's brother. Now, Jonathan has actually been helping us out a lot as a technical director, sound producer. He's been editing our radio show for a while. So say hi to the
Hi,
world.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Good to be here.
And I know you guys cannot see this, but he's actually juggling a computer and some sort of really complicated soundboard while at the same time talking to me. So thanks for joining us and
Sure.
being willing to speak.
Yeah.
So it must have been incredible that Emily's experience, I'm sure, had some role in you doing what you're doing now.
Right.
Would you like to talk about kind of the effect of Emily's experience on you as an older brother?
Well, Emily's experience really kind of, I wasn't always like personally, at the front lines when everything was happening, but I did experience a lot of the, just day-to-day differences and just what everything is like having a, experience like this. Basically, I would say that the whole experience of Emily going through treatments has really helped me to appreciate what I have and think that, what I'm doing, if it's not to do the best that I can and use what I've been given and I still have, then I would be wasting it, and I never want to do that. And Emily has really been a big factor in helping me to learn that, and it's really changed me a lot.
So would you say she's an inspiration to you? In your
Definitely.
life?
Yeah. I mean, just Emily has a lot of resilience, and she's really brave, and
She is.
and she has such a strong personality, and she's just always happy, even though everything is everything is terrible sometimes, and she still puts a smile on her face even if she has to force it, and that's been pretty inspirational, just to think. I mean, obviously, to any problems that I have, it makes me think, oh, if Emily can do that, I mean,
Right.
this is easy. So it's been really inspirational in that way. It's been really empowering, I mean, it's very humbling. And so it's just been really, a really powerful force to have Emily.
I totally understand. I've seen it in other children as well. I mean, I know
Yes.
people think of cancer as a very personal disease, but really it affects an entire family.
Yes.
Everyone is affected in some way, and that's actually one thing Purple Songs does. Is it serves as well for siblings and other family members, because they can be affected very, very powerfully as well. One of my personal friends, his brother had cancer, and he lived pretty much independent for about 3 years because his parents were always at the hospital, and and he wasn't able to see his brother as much, and he was really close to them. It was horrible, but it really did give him that perspective and really changed him as a person for the better. I think it's important to acknowledge that.
Jonathan was really helpful. He and his older brother, our other son, Michael, we just depended on them to hold down everything at the house, take care of the dog, bring in the paper, all that while we lived at the hospital.
Yeah.
He basically grew up really fast and
Yes.
was able to take care of things for us at home.
Yeah, because the family has to shift focus, away from the home and often to the hospital for months and months and months, and that can be tremendously difficult. But it's really inspirational, I'm sure, for many to hear about all the kind of positive life experiences that have come out of this. So do you have any questions for Jonathan?
Yeah. Whenever I was first diagnosed, how did you hear about it?
I got home from school, and I was in my room, and Mom was there, and she just had a talk with me and let me know about everything that was going on, and I had absolutely no idea how it happened, or it made no sense really, and it was a shock.
To say the least.
Totally.
But I mean, like you were saying, it's definitely been a lesson in independence. I mean, I was going to community college at the time, and I had like a minimum wage job, and I had to, figure out how to start paying for everything, and be responsible to do everything and be everywhere I need to be. And I remember when it first started happening, my brother was going, he just graduated from college, and he was getting a new job, and I remember my dad just saying, he looked at Michael and he was like, okay, you get a job, and he looked at me and he said, and you do good in school, and you get good grades and all that. And so motivation.
Yeah, I'm sure.
No pressure.
At all.
Oh, but see, looking back on it now, I mean, what have you learned about yourself? And I mean, I know it's a hard question, but yeah.
Not put on the spot or anything.
You promised no hard questions.
Well, I've learned that nothing can be too big to overcome.
Yeah.
I've learned that I can manage a lot more than I thought I could. So I don't need to have my hand held in any way. And I've just learned that, there's a lot possible if you believe that it is. So.
And that's wonderful. I think that's probably the message for everyone through this experience.
Yes.
I just want to thank you guys so much for joining us.
Our pleasure.
It's been really great having you in the studio and interviewing you guys. You have been listening to Purple Songs Can Fly. I'm Zach Tavlin.
And I'm Emily Freeman.
And you are listening to Voice America Kids. Now, before we go, we're going to play the song The God in My Heart, written by Jessica and Angelica when they were 17 and 18 years old.
The God in my heart loves me so much. The God in my heart, I feel His touch. The God in my heart knows just what to do. He brings me joy and laughter so much. The God in my heart, I feel His touch. The God in my heart knows just what to do. He brings me joy and laughter too. The God in my heart.
Thanks for listening to Purple Songs Can Fly. We'll see you again next Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Kids channel. And remember, for more information about the Purple Songs Can Fly project, visit www.purplesongscanfly.org. We'll be back with more music next week.
Purple songs can fly on the airwaves. They just need